Hello, good evening. My name is Olubenga Erinoso. I'm a student of information technology, taking public speaking communication class taught by Professor Mellissa Weaver. That is COMM 2400, Persuasive Speech. My topic is reformation of our educational system. The general purpose is to persuade, and the specific purpose is to reduce violence and high-rate dropout in our schools. And my thesis statement is to achieve increased qualitative education for majority of our population by year 2020, and that will ensure continued leadership of United States in science, technology, and engineering. This will return United States to a prideful place as #1 developed nation with the most number of graduates in the world. I'll be doing the introduction with a powerful quotation by Paul Krugman. I'll go to the body of my speech, and I'll do the definition. I'll explain what education is. Then I'll go to the main body, or the main point. The main point contains 4 major points, which is the problems, the causes, the effects, and solution. And under each of these main points, there are other sub points or supporting argumentative points. And of course, I'll go to the conclusion. And I'll conclude by restating my initial main points. Anyway, the introduction. About 2 years ago, 16-year-old Darian Albert, an honor student in Chicago, was cut short on his way back home from school by a rampaging gang of students. This is just one of the several pathetic stories that happened every day that is caused by violence in our schools. Paul Krugman, Professor of Economics and International Affairs and Hop-Ed columnist in New York Times, October 8, 2009, said, and I quote, "If you had to explain America's economic success with one word, that word will be education. Until now, the results of educational neglect have been gradual, a slow motion erosion of America's relative position. But things are about to get much worse as the economic crisis deals a severe blow to education across the board. We need to wake up and realize that one of the keys to our nation's historic success is now a wasting asset. Education made America great. Neglect of education can reverse the process." End of quote. And that is by Paul Krugman of New York Times. The current president, Barack Obama, was also quoted in February 24, 2009 during his address to joint session of Congress saying, and I quote, "In a global economy where the most valuable skill you can sell is your knowledge, a good education is no longer just a pathway to opportunity. It is a prerequisite." End of quote. This therefore suffice to say that continuous national development hinges on continued teaching of foundational knowledge to our young citizens. However, this is just not achievable without removing all sources of impediments, major of which is gangsterism and violence in our school system. This piece of speech established the fact that policy makers, parents, and the general public are all stakeholders in national educational development. It is a known fact that the United States used to be #1 nation among similarly developed nations of the world in the 1970s and has the highest number of graduates. But unfortunately, the case is the reverse today. According to statistics, the United States has led to the #10 position. They have come down to #10 from #1, according to statistics. Now, to the body of of my persuasive speech, I'm going to define what education is. Education is, in its broadest term, and in the general sense, is the means through which the aims and habits of a group of people lives on from generation to the next. In other words, it is the knowledge or skills obtained or developed by a learning process. My main point, number one, the problems. What is the problem? Why do we have all this problem? The problem is this. It has been identified to be, number one, extreme and frequent violence in schools. Number two, exponential increase in female students' pregnancy. Number three, high dropout rate, especially in high school. This problem cuts across board: primary school, secondary school, or middle school, high school, and tertiary institutions, university and colleges, you know. But it is more pronounced at the high school level. Statistics shows that, and that is in accordance with this website, boostup.org, boostup.org. Number one, statistics shows that the national average dropout rate is 28% nationally. That is, in other words, 28% of all the schools in the United States, altogether of the 50 states, there is a average of dropout rate of 28%. Number two, nationwide, about 7,000 students drop out of high school every day. Number three, adults who graduate from high school are 8 times less likely to spend time in jail. In other words, those who graduate from high school that drop out are 8 times more likely to spend time in jail. Number four, every year, at least 5 states have 40% or more students not graduating from high school. Number five, student bullying in elementary school is 21%. It is 43% in the middle school. And student bullying at the high school level is 22%, according to the survey or the statistics carried out in 2006. And lastly, the dropout rate is equivalent to the 1/3 of the nation population with declining opportunities. That is a food for thought. That means something serious is going on. Now I'm going to the causes of all this problem. Number one is peer pressure. Peer pressure. I want to belong. I need to do what other people are doing. Because everybody is doing it does not mean it is right. So our young ones have to watch out. You see, peer pressure. Sometimes it could be natural, but as I go on, I will tell you the effect and the solution to all of this. Number two cause is low level of morals or negative societal influence. In other words, overexposure to violent movies and pornography and some other factors. But these two are major. Overexposure to violent movies and pornography. It's not good for our young ones. They're just growing up and they want to be like adults already. I mean, they need to wait till that time. They need to be disciplined from, when they're growing up. They should face their studies first. Anyway, I will talk more about the solution as I go on. Number three cause of this problem is the neglect or total lack of parental care. Number four, access to drugs and gun. You see all these causes. Causes of extreme and frequent violence in school, exponential rates in female students, pregnancy, and high dropout rate, especially in high school. Those are the causes. Peer pressure, low level of morals, total lack of parental care. You can see that going on everywhere. And access to drugs and gun. Children have been let loose. The third point under my main point is the effect. Tense and fearful academic environment for law-abiding students. So all these causes the causes of all this problem have an effect on our children, and not only our children, even on the entire society, but primarily on the student. One of the effects, two major effects. One of the effects is that they feel sense of tension and fearfulness in the academic environment, you know, especially for the law-abiding ones. You know, the lawbreakers don't seem to feel that effect, because they are the one causing it. So they create that environment for the law-abiding one and the meaningful, focused children or students. Second effect is that it causes dwindled standard of academics among the students. It lowers the standard because they don't seem to be interested in education anymore. The fourth main point under my main point is the solution. I've talked about the problem, causes, and effects. Now, solution. The solution that I propose is that there should be public law reform or youth law reform that promotes religious and moral teachings. Without moral teachings or religious teaching, we cannot overlook religion. Religion has effect on the morals of people or a set of people. And I know most religion teaches morals. You know, it doesn't matter what religion, but I know most religion. I'm not in favor of any religion right now, but I know religion has effect on people, and I know most religions teaches morals. So that's number one solution. There should be reforms that allows or encourage religious and moral teachings. Number two solution that I propose will be educational sector reform that enhances and increases students' responsibilities. They need to be responsible, you know. Number three, education sector reform that increases total time spent in school. We should find a way to increase the time that students spend in school, so that they will be able to read, focus more on their academics. When we have short time to spend in school and they go out, they engage in all sorts of antisocial behaviors and what have you. But in other words, we have to find a way to make them spend more time in school, or to be buried in the academics. I know all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. But I mean, with the situation of things, we should find a way to reform our educational sector such that our students spend more time in school. And even when they go back home, they should be able to focus on their academics more than just frivolities and playing and partying around. Number four solution that I am proposing is stronger security and intelligence in school for preventive measures. In schools, to prevent a tense and fearful academic environment, government should ensure that there are stronger security is ensured or is provided. I know it's there, but we need to do more in terms of security and intelligence that prevent violence. Number five, strengthening of schools disciplining. Number six, effective collaboration between schools and parents that allow constant and progressive monitoring of students' behavior and academic performance. Number seven, there should be a good feedback mechanism between parents and schools. And lastly, number eight, parents must provide good moral example for their children. And to my conclusion, I'd like to restate my major points, and that has to do with the problem, causes, effect, and solution. Under the problems, we have three major points. There is extreme and violent violence in our schools. The second problem is that there is exponential increase in female students' pregnancy. Number three, high dropout rates, especially in high school. And the causes, there is peer pressure, negative societal influence, total lack of parental care in some cases, and access to drugs. Number four. Under effect, there is a tense and fearful academic environment for law-abiding or focused students. And number two, there is a dwindling standard of academics among our students. And solution, we have to reform our educational policies, that we give more time for academic classes or school curriculum and all what have you, and stronger security and intelligence in our schools for preventive measures, and of course a reform that enhances and increases students' responsibilities. Now to my main conclusion. It will be seen from evidence of statistics presented with regard to rate of dropout and injuries of death resulting from school violence that danger is looming in our educational system. The loss is colossal and the evidence is staggering. Furthermore, comparison of standard of education between USA and other Western countries shows that we are progressively on a downward trend, which is bound to create inestimable consequences in the near future. Although the immediate goal is to reduce violence to the barest minimum, however, the long-term goal is to reverse the current perilous path and put United States back to its rightful first place. As a matter of fact, many notable figures, including the current president, Barack Obama, and educators in various fields of endeavor, attested to this fact, which means that a quick but lasting solution is needed and will require collaboration and cooperation of all stakeholders, including students, parents, educators, legislators, religious leaders, and public officials. Thank you and God bless.